The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Oh, man. I was in here doing my New Jack swing, and you cut me off.
Nah, you're in there trying to do those house party moves.
I was in there doing a kid and play. With just one person. It was just play.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. Why are you getting funky on me?
Well, that was a pure classic.
Yeah, I'm done now, so it's all good. It's all good. What's happening, good people? Welcome to today's reality check. Gerard Stevens with you, and I gotta tell you.
What you gotta tell me?
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
How many? I really want to have a conversation about how many people got a chance to see the mayoral debates. Of course, they had the one with Oliver Thomas, Councilman Oliver Thomas, Senator Roy DePlessis, and Councilwoman Helena Moreno on Channel 6. Did you get a chance?
I missed it last night.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it. I honestly forgot about it.
How do you forget about it?
You know I would have been watching.
Yeah, because you'd be texting, too.
I'd be texting you. Say, bro, look at that. You heard that?
Yeah. But one of the things, too, that seemed to be bothering a lot of folks, and I hope that she don't. I saw her Saturday. When I say her, I'm talking about Councilwoman Helena Moreno. She came out to the New Orleans East Festival. So
what?
Got a chance to see her. Yeah, you got to make her rounds. So I got a chance to see her. She came up on stage and said hello to everybody, and making sure that everybody get out and vote. But it's interesting, and a couple of people asked me. They said, "Man, why they seem to be picking with her so much? Why ain't they picking with the other folks?" And then I said, "Trust me, there's a whole lot of criticism going around to everybody, but you got to understand the politics." Like, well, what did I miss? I said, it's not that you missed anything. It's the fact that you always try to shoot down who they call the front person, the person that seems to be leading the way, the one that may have more ratings or more political votes than you do, the one that's leading in the polls, supposedly. You got to shoot for that person, if nothing else, to bring down some of their numbers. And he went, oh. I said, yeah, you got to do it. So there were some things that were said, though, and I was like, it's some stuff that we really need to check. And one of the things that I necessarily need to check, I really need to check.
What do you really need to check?
This information about who did what when we are trying to get these folks moved off of that landfill. The $31 million that is supposed to be going to the residents who had their homes on this landfill. And so many people have died already because of cancer. Then I also saw where some other folks have started talking about black businesses in the city and how many folks are getting the opportunity to contract with the city that may have they may have all of the information, they may have all the resources needed, but are they getting the opportunity to contract with the city? Are they willing to say, well, this person helped me get a contract? And with New Orleans being a predominantly African American city, my question is, how many African American folks get the opportunity under this current administration to do business with the city? Ain't that something? We shouldn't even have to ask that question, but we do. And then we see the hoopla that has happened with some African American vendors like Richards Disposal, Metro Disposal. I would even say Henry Consulting. We have seen the hoopla and the garbage contracts. It's amazing. We're acting like those are the only contracts that African Americans can do. Do they get a chance to participate in some of the other contracts, whether we're talking about engineering? Are we getting a chance to play ball when it comes down to fixing some of the turbines? Not a sub, but a prime. So there are some things, too, that have come out from last night till tonight. I'm just saying. Some things that have come out from last night till tonight that may not be the only truth. They may not be the only truth. Because when you start calling folks and asking questions, you'd be surprised when you get the real answer. And they ready to tell you something. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. So what do you do? Well, you try to find out. What are they doing? What they talking about? What's the truth? 'Cause that's all we want. We just want the truth, bro. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to find out the truth. All right, y'all hold tight. We got to take a break here. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation about this and go through some of this information that I'm hearing. All right, everybody hold tight. Smoke coming up.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
New Orleans is stuck, while career politicians like J.P. Morrell aren't fighting for our community. I'm Pastor Gregory Manning, running for City Council at Large in Division 2. Our community is my top concern because when our community rises, the whole city rises. I will fight to eliminate Entergy late fees, stop cutoffs during the summer heat and winter cold, and put people before profit. On October the 11th, let's get New Orleans unstuck. Vote Pastor Gregory Manning for City Council at Large, Division 2, ballot number 32, paid for by Friends of Gregory Manning.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
My name is Calvin Duncan, and I served 28 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. But instead of losing hope at Angola, I educated myself, became a jailhouse lawyer, and after decades of being denied access to my records by the clerk's office, proved my innocence. Today, that same office is treating our records like trash, and it's time for a clerk who knows how much is at stake.
Calvin Duncan for clerk.
Paid for by Calvin for clerk.
People keep telling me the reasons why I shouldn't run for mayor. Some people say it's my past. I've owned it. I've taken responsibility, and I've learned immeasurably from it. To poll numbers, politics isn't about popularity. It's about leadership. For all the reasons they've said I shouldn't run, this is why I have to run. I'm running for us. I'm Oliver Thomas. I'm running to be your mayor. Let's get this city back on track, together.
Paid for by Friends of Oliver Thomas.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. I guess the question that I should start off with is, did you get a chance to see the debate last night? Or should I call it the forum? What did you learn? What did you see? 504-582-9422. Y'all can call me now and tell me what you saw. Then the other thing, too, is our candidates. They are being fact-checked. And I don't even think they realize it. They are being fact-checked, and I don't even think that they realize it. One of which I got a real good conversation going today, asking about the Gordon Plaza folks, the buyouts. Because there have been questions that are arising. Because one candidate in particular is taking credit for it, and actually, and I hope this is not a smack on that lady who is the elder who's saying these things, but she's one of the recipients of money, as she gives all the credit to one candidate in particular. But as I roll back the information and start looking at who did what, could this be information that could be shared amongst all of those city council persons? What you mean, Gerard? Was it one person that chaired this thing? Was it one person that said, we're going to make this happen and we're going to put it up for a vote? Because from what I'm hearing, and I see in the information that I have, there's some stuff that we need to really check out. See, in the post that I have, it says the truth about Gordon Plaza, the buyouts. It says it was $35 million allocated, but only $21 million was received. The administration all along said the $35 million was not a real number because they had to follow the law. The council moved forward with $35 million allocation anyway, causing confusion on what residents would actually get. So that's the part that made me go, well, what did they get? What was there a form that each one of them had to sign that says, we can't tell you all that? Because we're talking about what, at least 67 residents, homes? The other part of that, that went on to say about this budget crisis that we are in now, this $140 million budget crisis, is a conversation that, as I'm seeing this, it is telling me that you all been new. Is that a good way to put it? Y'all been new that we were getting ready to go into a budget crisis. What? Yeah, you been new. And let me read it to you. And then I'm gonna call some folks that can vouch for me on this, because I don't want nobody to say I said this and made that up. It says the budget crisis. The council received a letter from the administration in January. What? Let me read that again just in case you didn't hear me. It says that the administration gave the council a letter in January. February had a meeting in which there was one committee member that didn't ask a single question. Y'all knew who that was. Didn't ask one question about the crisis, and actually was filmed playing on her phone the entire time during the crisis conversation. Year over year, the administration would submit the budget, and the council would add programs and projects on top of it, which was causing the fund to go down, the balance. And like for this fiscal year, they added $62 million on top of what the administration proposed. Call that number. How do you have a balanced budget if you're going to add $62 million to what was proposed? And what really got me is the fact of what they did to the sheriff's department. When they kept asking them and asking them and asking them to fix stuff. And they said, you got plenty of money, you're supposed to do it. And the law states that it is supposed to be the administration that's supposed to do it. And Mr. Red Bottoms, y'all know what I'm talking about, the sneaker wearing dude, continued to haggle, beat down, talk ill of the entire time, not letting us know that we were in a budget crisis. And the question with that should be, how much money you all spent on private attorneys that proved nothing and lost in court every single time? How much did that cost? Joining me right now, though, and this is my guy. He's going to tell me all this information that I really need to know. Because Jabari, are you with me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you, Gerard?
I was all right till I started reading all this information, and I'm like, what? So if I am willing to put this out here, which I was, and I started talking about it because when I started reading it, I was like, if you know this information, how come you sat on it and didn't say anything if you were a council person? And
Well,
didn't say
Gerard, I
one
think,
word? Nothing?
yeah, I think you would have to actually have been paying attention in the meeting to be able to speak to it.
So she was sitting in the meeting and did not pay attention to this and was playing on the phone.
She had previously spoke when the discussion was talking about the potential of impacts from legislative changes in Baton Rouge, and there was a discussion on needing help or encouraging collaboration between the administration and the council to go up to Baton Rouge to combat that. And that's when she stepped in to say she's been trying to do that, and she's gone up to Baton Rouge on her own accord for years. But when the conversation pivoted to the actual crisis with the CFO standing at the podium with her finance team, she didn't engage in the conversation at all.
Nothing.
Not a word.
So the other part of that, let me kind of make this a two-part question, because the other part of that, I would say, if I am a 7-seat council, how do I take credit by myself for a situation like I'm the only person in the room that made monies available for something to move, like moving those folks to and from Gordon Park?
Well, Gerard, what I would say is it's impossible, and quite frankly, it's really 8. It's the 7 plus the mayor. The mayor has to approve, especially with these budget things. The budget process always starts with the mayor, and then as it relates to Gordon Plaza, the mayor had to approve of the removal.
Right.
Meaning, once they vote, then the mayor has the veto power. So she either lets it go forward and signs it, or she vetoes it. And obviously, because she wanted to help the residents of Gordon Plaza, she of course moved it forward.
Okay, so now that we done put the mayor in there too, and you're right. One of the questions I would have is, then why are we having so much ill will toward the mayor when she said we don't have the money to give $30 million to the school board? We don't have that money. And it's apparent to me if we're in a budget crisis, we don't.
So the astonishing thing, Gerard, is when the CFO and the finance team, along with the budget team, sat before the council saying, listen, we are in a financial crisis, the council's first response to cutting the budget, if they had to, was to cut the mayor's travel, which obviously is at most somewhere between $30,000, maybe $40,000.
It's minuscule compared to the multi-millions that we're talking about.
This is a $1.7 billion entity, and the whole is at least 60,000 plus. 60 million plus.
I just didn't understand the rhetoric of someone that, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I sit there and I listen to the budget meetings, and all I see is infighting. So my question has been for years, we're talking about a balanced budget, and I think you answered it in your writings to me, if you can again. How do we get this balanced budget presented, and then all of a sudden we got a budget crisis?
So what happens is, like I said, the budget process starts with the mayor. The mayor and her team presents the budget. For instance, this next budget cycle, which starts October 1st, the mayor will present to the council a budget. Then it's upon them to do whatever they want with that budget. And after they vote on it, the mayor has the ability to veto. But obviously and we've seen this in the past, when they're passing legislation, whether it be the budget, whether it be Plantalba, whether it be any of these things, it's kind of hard to go against 7-0, because if you're not going to win a veto override. It passed unanimously.
So would it be appropriate to say that we've been shammed? Is this
I
a
would
sham?
I wouldn't characterize it as a sham. I would characterize it as the oversight. The council's authority is budget and oversight, and they have, in some regards, been asleep at the wheel or not cognizant of navigating the recovery from the pandemic, and they've been very lenient in their spend. So they've been more aggressive in, oh, we have the money, versus doing deep analysis on how is this going to play out 2-3 years from now if we spend now. I mean, obviously there are other factors that happen. No one predicted a terrorist attack on Bourbon Street,
right?
And the financial impacts of that, whether it be NOPD overtime or the resources NOPD had to bring to bear to continue to protect the city, especially going into Super Bowl, which they then had to make some modifications and adjustments to their strategies to make sure the city was protected.
But Jabari, isn't that what we're supposed to say we have a rainy day fund for? I mean, isn't that money supposed to be able to help us whenever we have an event or something that could be tragic that happens in the community that we're not prepared for?
So, Gerard, crazy enough, that's what the fund balance was for, because this administration, they understood that we're always facing a crisis. It could have been a hurricane. The snowstorm had an effect.
Right.
Like, all these things have an effect. So that was initially what the fund balance was for. Is like, let's park this money over here just in case something happens. But between the process of the administration submitting the budget and the council approving, the council then goes and adds their pet projects. They want to
That's
push
the other
forward.
$62 million.
Correct.
Well, it sounds like to me somebody I wouldn't want them to try to balance my money if this is what they're doing and adding it to the complete balance, and then adding it to the complete balance. What they do, just add it and say, here you go? It's not balanced.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what they envision is the revenue estimating conference, which is the committee that forecasts the city's revenue moving forward. They felt like they thought there was going to be a higher projected revenue from the Super Bowl and other things. But obviously, when you balance it out versus the extra spend on overtime for these terrorist attacks, on additional resources needed for a snowstorm, on additional resources needed for Super Bowl, on additional resources needed for what happened at
OJC.
OJC. Thank you. So those additional add-ons, that forecast doesn't look as bright. But then, candidly, you also have individuals who don't show up or are not consistently showing up to the revenue estimating conference that sit on the city council. There's 2 seats on the revenue estimating conference for the city council. There's one individual from Tulane that's seated, and then it's the CAO, the CFO, and the mayor. And one of the council members is less inclined to make appearances. Now, granted, this individual is not a voting member, but it's still important.
It's still important enough for you to know exactly where your money goes.
Exactly.
But I would
think
how much money
you're going to get.
Yeah, right. I would also think that at some point in time there needs to be a conversation, and I don't know what time that should be, so you can help me out with this part too. That conversation should be about the amount of money that the state pays the city with hotel motel tax, all the money that comes through the city that we have all these different events, how much money comes from the Montreal Convention Center, how much is the city getting back from the state with the use of those resources?
So I don't have the exact dollar amount, but what I can tell you is
It's not enough.
It's somewhere between 21 to 25 cents
right.
on a dollar.
Right. For the hotel
which
motel
is,
tax.
Which is crazy because before Mayor Cantrell, we was only getting 18 cents.
Right.
That fair share deal, excuse me. The fair share deal is the one that got us a little bit bumped up.
But how do you, I would think that the representation, if you can go up to Baton Rouge and have a conversation about your own pet projects, how about having a conversation with those guys that are the bean counters and let them know that, hey, we're stretching the dollar here. We need to make sure that we can replenish all of our resources here because our streets are terrible. We're looking at somebody saying that, might be bringing in the National Guard because of crime. Crime is down, but if you're looking at it that way, then why don't you give us enough money so that we can take care of ourselves? And
exactly.
who's fighting for it?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things after the terrorist attack, how did the president? I'm not aware of this, but did the president declare an emergency for Orleans Parish, which could have potentially opened up public assistance, which is a mechanism through FEMA to reimburse the city for the expenses that we incurred.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that happened. If I was a betting person, it probably didn't happen. It probably wasn't on the table because even for other instances, like the people in Arkansas, when they had those severe tornadoes, they're still fighting to try and get public assistance reimbursement money.
Oh, wow. Yes, indeed. I know I'm calling you right off the bot here, and I'm just trying to get as much information as I can. You got a few more minutes?
Yeah, I have a few more.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. Let me take this break here real quick, and I'll come right back. All right.
Okay.
Jabari Walker from ACLU is with us. He's been around for a moment, so he got all this information. I'm trying to get it out of him. We'll talk with him more in just a minute, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Movie Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Tired of the impersonal one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
If someone asks,
yeah,
let them know you listen to WBOK.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you, trying to get the truth about what is happening with who's going to be our next leader in this city. Joining me by phone, he's with us and giving us some information. Jabari Walker's on the phone with us. Jabari, thank you, number one, for what you do. And I am right in saying that you're part of the ACLU, then, correct?
No longer at the ACLU.
Okay, you're not there anymore. Okay.
Correct.
I was just basically trying to find out for the folks at Gordon Plaza, the number was promoted as they got $35 million. Was that true?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, were pushing for $35 million, and the council allocated $35 million. Keyword allocated.
It was allocated, but did they get it?
No. The
No.
real number is closer to 21 million.
Well, I'm hearing commercials that are saying 35 million.
And unfortunately, those commercials are inaccurate.
So it was $21 million. So that left them with how much money per person or per household to buy a new house?
So it varies. I think the misnomer or the misconception that was put out there by some of the individuals who was pushing these ads was that because it was 35 million, the residents assumed or was given the assumption that they were going to get 522,000
a piece.
A piece.
And that was not true.
That was not true. That's not what occurred.
And that part of the story, I don't think we heard that part of the story, did we?
No. And the crazy part about the whole ad and some of the posturing is you can just go to the assessor's website and put in any address or former address of any resident of Gordon Plaza, and it shows you. It shows you the sale/transfer date, shows you the price, and it shows you who was there before, and now the city of New Orleans owning it.
Yes, indeed. So that information is right under your nose if you really want to take a look at it then. All right. I thought it was interesting to say that we had one crew in the city of New Orleans that's doing over 1,500 miles of fixing potholes. Is that true?
So there probably is one internal crew, but I would have to double check to see if there's any contracts. Typically, stuff like that would be contracted out.
I mean, that just did not sound truthful to me when we talk about 1,500 miles of streets. And we're talking about only one crew out there fixing them, and our potholes look like, ditches.
Right. I think the greatest concern is in that ad. That ad talks about adding 100+ people to do potholes, but the current administration is dealing with a budget deficit, and the current administration has been on a hiring freeze since June. Mm-hmm. And what people need to understand is these things don't get solved that quickly. We are now almost in October, going into the budget process. Things are going to still need to be cut unless they figure out a way to completely fill this hole. Mm-hmm. Budget deficits typically get filled over time, not just instantly. So the 60+ million that's just out there, we don't know, where the money's coming from. Mm-hmm. Come December, it's not going to magically appear.
No.
So to have the knowledge that the city's facing a budget crisis, to have the knowledge that there's a hiring freeze in place now to try and mitigate it, and to then just tell voters and residents that I'm just going to hire 100+ people, how are you going to do it? Where's the money coming from?
But I looked at this and I said to myself, it could not have just been known until I read the information where it said that a letter from the administration had gone to each one of the city council folks in, I think you said January, to let them know that we were in a budget crisis, and no one ever said anything.
So it came out in February. There, at a February meeting that I previously talked about, is when the discussions were really had publicly. There was a meeting. There was a meeting, a regular council meeting, where it kind of started to come out. But then the actual budget meeting in February is when the budget committee and the administration went back and forth trying to kind of unwind how we got here. Mm-hmm. In which one of the committee members didn't have any interest, didn't touch on the budget crisis.
Didn't say one word.
Not a word. and left early during the budget crisis conversation.
Sat there looking at the phone.
Yeah.
See, that concerns me. And then the other question I had, I don't even know if you could answer this one, but when I started looking at the budget and started looking at some of the line items scared me because there was one line item that was just, it really didn't have it wasn't assigned to anything. It was just a line item. I was like, okay, what's it going toward? Nothing. So I was wondering, how do you balance a budget with a line item that is not assigned to anything?
Yeah, I'd have to look at that one. I haven't seen that one.
But that's the part that scares me about, okay, you cannot balance your budget. And if you are balancing your budget and you're presenting this to the city council folks, my question is, how do you add $62 million more to a balanced budget? Like it's just going to say, okay, cool. We're all right. Just add that to it. $62 million more. Where the money going to come from?
So where it has come from is fund balance. Fund balance is to set aside money for those emergencies, for if something happens. So that's
we just took the emergency money and used it for their pet peeve issues.
I mean, generally speaking, that's pretty much what's been transpiring since the boost in money coming in from ARPA and during the COVID era.
Well, what happened to the $2 billion we had from, I guess, the federal government to fix our infrastructure?
So a lot of that has been spent, but the challenge is, what really happened with that project was once PDU, Project Delivery Unit, opened up the streets, it was just a mixed bag of you don't know what you were opening up. Some of these streets hadn't been opened up in 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So then the original plan had to be fixed, and there was plan changes, which was a process. Then you have to recalculate how much it's going to cost, which is a process. And then, okay, once you get past all those points, now it's the execution part. But, what you've ran across is the original plan kind of took a huge chunk of the streets and just opened them all up. And because this has never been done before.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand. No other city in America got $2 billion to pretty much redo 75 to 80% of their streets. But the city of New Orleans did, and the initial plan, the initial strategy wasn't working. So that's when the administration pivoted to closing up streets and breaking it apart, the contracts, breaking up the work to try and get the roads going in the right direction. And it was on deadline in the middle of a pandemic.
Wow. So the meetings between the two entities, the executive branch, which would be the mayor, and of course the branch with the city council, were there meetings going over this budget other than what was seen by the cameras and sitting on the dais voting on it? But were there any other meetings between them trying to work something out?
So typically, the administration attempts to meet with council members through the budget process to try and negotiate where the budget is going to land. But obviously, the council has the authority to, maneuver and put money wherever they see, wherever their values are for that fiscal year. So yeah, there were meetings, but sometimes meetings don't necessarily go anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking around and saying it seemed like to me there should have been a couple of meetings, at least try to work out line items in that budget So how they're going to be presented, and because everybody got to work out, and see how we're going to deal this up. Who's going to get what? Not just put money up on the table and say that's what we need to get done. $62 million. You find it, and we'll get back to it, and we'll vote on it.
Yeah. I think part of the problem is what you've seen is this disconnect in understanding the facts. Each side has, a different view on the facts. And unfortunately, in our current political climate, that plays a factor even in those meetings. Because what you've seen, if you go and run the tape back from the February meeting in which the council member did not engage at all, the administration and other council members were kind of going back and forth on, okay, what are the facts? And even most recently at one of the budget meeting that occurred last week, still trying to go back and forth on the facts.
Yeah. I'm going to go back through some of this and take some more. So don't be surprised if we call you back. Because I got to tell you, some of this is disheartening. And I'm feeling like the whole truth is not coming out. And some of my other colleagues that are council persons, they need to speak up.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Jabari, I'm not going to hold you all the afternoon, but I do appreciate the information. It's okay. We may be calling you back, though. I appreciate you, though.
Anytime, Gerard. Anytime.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Jabari Walker with us for the past, 45 minutes, giving us all the details here to some of this information. James Galloway, everybody hold tight. News is up next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go, an Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The Trump administration is threatening to pull funding from Chicago Public Schools' Black Student Success Plan, calling it discriminatory. The program aims to hire more black male educators, cut discipline disparities, and expand Black history and culture lessons. California lawmakers have passed Assembly Bill 62, creating a pathway for reparations for those who lost homes and businesses to government racial discrimination. Supporters say it can restore dignity and stability. The bill now awaits Governor Newsom's signature. And rapper A$AP Rocky says he and Rihanna are praying their third child will be a girl. In an interview with Elle, he hinted at marriage and confirmed the baby's name will continue their R tradition. While his music career is on pause, Rocky says he's focused on family and being present for Rihanna and their growing household. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back.
What's the matter there, young man?
Everybody got their mouth open, boy. Everybody got their mouth open after hearing some of this stuff that's going on. All right, Galloway.
Now, what's going on, Brother Gerard?
You the man. You the man.
No, if I had your hands, I'd cut mine off.
No, brother, we be both called Nubby.
No, but real talk, man. Yesterday you talked about Tom joining the fly job, and I want to say thank you. Too many people have forgotten about the work that Tom Joyner has put in, going back from Dallas to Chicago. And Tom Joyner is the only reason why I get off my behind every weekend and go to an HBCU campus, and I donate, and I thank him for that, because I was not giving back to my own college that I graduated from. He opened up my eyes and made me see how I can help people.
Yeah.
That young brother that you just had on, y'all please protect him. This man, that young brother is so poised. DJ Papa turned Instagram on to that young man. He's been on Instagram, like he's been giving you that interview like that. His demeanor and the way he breaks stuff down, he has a lot of people more focused in seeing what's really been going on.
Right.
He takes it all from the Helena Pom Pom squad. Reggie, JD, and that little dude Josh, they all tried to come from him. And calmly, he broke them down one by one, line by line.
Yep.
That young man is a treasure. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm being serious when I say this. I'm really worried about him, Because when you start telling the truth like this young man is telling, last night he was on the Keith Carroll show. It was like 9,000 people listening to that young man. I said, wow. But like I said, I've been following since DJ Papa put him on, shared one of his stories. And I said, who is this young dude? And then he got to explaining who he was and what he does, what he did do for the and both administrations that he had worked with. I said, okay, he know where all the skeletons, all the bones are buried.
Yep.
And like he said, he's never told me to or anybody to vote for this person, but he exposed who not to vote for.
Right.
And I thank him for that, because it's a lot of misinformation, and that woman trying to take credit for all that stuff. That man broke it down by she just couldn't do this by herself. So when we all know it's election season, politicians will lie, but you got people like him that's not afraid, and he's not yelling, he's not screaming, he's not demeaning anybody. He's giving you the information that some people are too lazy to research, and he's telling it to you in a way that the normal local person can understand. So please protect that young man, because I got a feeling that the Pom Pom Squad is not done with him.
No,
they tried to get him last night, but
the more that he's talking, the more the Pom Pom Squad gonna try to get him. So call him Pom Pom Squad.
Yeah, but that man, he tried to explain to folks. This man has been receiving death threats when they was taking down the Confederate monument. If I'd have known him then, I would have protected him then, because I was down there every day. See, folks don't understand stuff like that. Why, that little thing, Josh, why you ain't working right now in the administration? What business of yours where he's working at? You worry about what you do, Josh. And Reggie, he just want to get up there and yell. What does Reggie do at 2 o'clock in the morning besides go live on Instagram? Does he work for somebody?
I don't know.
I might want to know. Besides Helena, we know he worked for her. I ain't afraid to say it. But that young man, I salute him. We need more like that. And I don't know how old he is. I know he's way younger than I am. But you get 5 or 10 more young men like him, New Orleans gonna be all right. That's all I got to say today. I got to pack these bags, Gerard. I'll holler at you, man, probably either Friday or not definitely Monday about the CBC convention I'm going to, brother.
All right.
So you take it easy, man.
Do that too. Be careful on that road.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. All right, James.
Hey, what's happening, man?
What's going on with you?
Nothing much. First, I want to say good evening to everybody, and shout out to Ms. Linda. Back in the early 2000s, I want to say 2009, about 14, when she retired from the city. Maybe 12. Might have been so closer to 12. But she used to run. Ms. Linda used to drive the dump truck around the city with 3 men that hop off the back and fill up your pothole. So it's been a thing since way back then or before then with this city without having a railroad crew. I don't know if y'all know that or remember that. You used to see a dump truck with asphalt in the back, and boys used to hop out and fill up potholes with them. Do you recall that?
I don't.
Back in the early, yeah. Well, I know her personally because I worked part-time with her also. And she was my mama friend. Shout out to Ms. Linda. Same thing pretty much going on right now. You sound surprised that about some of the facts that the guy Jabbar was saying, that the brother Jabbar was saying about the executive branch versus the legislative branch. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are surprised that, the mayor had a lot going on and she was not able to make heads or tails, I think, with our city council, because she's fighting for her life on all fronts. Now, I'm going to say this. That does not excuse the fact, because to whom much is given, much is required, and the heavy head wears the crown, right? So she's the leader. She's the president of our city, and things could have been done a lot better, but she had a lot going on in her life. So I remember being in my organization and at a union meeting, I ended up having to explain to these people, boy, you're not going to get nothing from this black woman, calling her Latoya the Destroyer, and cursing at her every time you feel like you got the right to say something. I literally stood up in front of our organization and said these words to them. You not got y'all don't live with a black woman. Y'all don't know what it's like to live with a black woman. All you're gonna do is make her dig her heels in even more. So this ain't the way you're gonna get anything from them. And you should have saw the blank stares on their faces. So I understand what I'm looking at. I can still be upset and disagree with the way she did things, but things were done wrong. And I understand that maybe personal life and business got a little conflated and mixed up, and that caused most of our issues. Can we agree on that?
Yep.
Right. So I don't understand how it is that, you know, like I spoke to somebody and I was shocked to hear before you said it on that other station, a council member saying he didn't know how the money came up missing. Because I too didn't really understand that the budget actually was okayed and agreed upon by them. They didn't come up with it, so to speak, or it got to pass through the mayor, so to speak. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, man. You said it. You said it. There are people in our circle that know and are around this, and they don't say nothing. And that's the things that give me pause with what our discussion was a few days ago, and what our discussion always continue to be.
So, but what makes me, and I'm gonna just go back to what you said. What makes me understand the process? The process is that the budgeting comes from the mayor's office, right? From the mayor, and they present the budget to the council.
And the council got to agree on it.
The council then goes through it to make possible changes and what they think about this budget.
They try to meet in the middle. But listen,
the problem that I'm having with this, and what Jabari is telling me, is that the council added $62 million to this budget. And what I didn't get as my explanation is where that money came from. And what Jabari is telling me is that, and in this whole process, you also have to look around and say, if things happen, you got to have some money for your rainy day fund. And from what I'm understanding is that a lot of that money came from that rainy day fund. And I'm like, wait a minute, we had some of the biggest issues that happened in the city.
Gerard, G, that's the general fund, correct?
What are you talking about?
The rainy day money. That's
no, that's not the general fund. That's not the general fund. That's money just in case.
That's always been our question. What is the general fund for?
The general fund is what supplies all the different entities in the budget. That's the general fund. There is a rainy day fund just in case something happens and we need to have extra monies to take care of them.
And that's fair. Everybody got a honey hole. You know, you got a honey hole. But just in case, you know, somebody come up, you know, in need, you know, in your family, you got it. Everybody got a honey hole. But I thought the general fund was the honey hole. So, you know, that money. But I will say this. I have also been a part of budgetary meetings with my organization, and I've been, you know, standing right there, almost in earshot of a mayor and my leadership. And the mayor grabbed that bar close by and go, I asked for shit here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But those are actually the words that I heard. I'm not going to say which mayor. I'm not going to say, I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I did not mean to do that. But those are the words, again, that I actually heard. Pull him close, shook his head tough like a man, and pulled him close and said, I ask for nothing when we get in there.
Yeah.
And then the council is sitting there going, tell us what you need. Tell us what you need. We're going to give you the money. Tell us what you need. And he hands tied. He's like, We can work with what we have, knowing we can't work with what we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is also something that you guys may be missing or not see. Why you see it because you work with Ms. Hudson. You know.
Yeah, I mean, look what they did to her during budgeting time, and that money that she had for there that they kept calling that was, oh, you got money. As you talked to Bianca Brown, who is her CFO, Bianca's like, that money has to go toward the paying of those folks, those deputies that do. We have to set that money to the side.
The rainy day money. That's right.
So if they ain't looking at it that way, you know, which they were not to make her look bad, they were trying to. Right. It's their own problem. Now, how would they like if she said, I'm calling all of them to the city council chambers to say, let's go back toward this because you all didn't let us know that we had $100-some million in a deficit.
Right.
Since y'all want to sit here and talk about me, and then, you know, we started calling for a legislative auditor.
I told you I didn't like when Mr. Red Bottoms was caught on TV looking down at he wasn't at the site. He was looking down at a phone at the conditions of the site, and he like, whoa, I had no idea the building looked like this. Well, bro, first off, you like on top of you supposed to know the condition of your building. How you didn't know?
He ain't been
but
over
you know
there.
Everything else. You know who the mayor having lunch with.
He has not been over there. Okay. So he has not been over there.
I know he ain't been over there. That boy don't do no work. He be playing video games, collecting Captain America dolls and crap. So, well, all I'm saying is, bro, like the some of this give me pause with who's running and the people who in the office. Like it's like they don't. Nobody's jumping off of the page. I do know who I ain't voting for because I don't believe enough was done at the state level for us, and I got strong convictions about what's happening in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the fence. Now I like the platforms. The platforms are amazing, but I'm sick of words. I'm sick of words. Word salad. Bro, we lose value in the East. I'm driving past a house that's been up for sale for almost a year right now.
No.
More than a year right now. Brand new from the ground built construction. Been up for sale for darn near a year or over a year.
All right, let me get to some of these folks, man. Everybody hanging on. I appreciate you, James.
Yeah.
Talk to you in a minute. All right, say it.
Hey, man, good evening.
What's going on?
What's going on is, man, again, for anyone to be a council at large member, that is, you got the mayor and you got two council at large members. And for there to be a $60 to $100 million deficit or anticipated deficit or whatever that they've known about since January, you are responsible. Now, we hear everybody put everything on the mayor, but they're responsible too. I heard something that the last time this person who's running for mayor, Helena Moreno, in her position as city council at large, I'd like to see the records of meetings that they've had. When was the last time that you, Mr. J.P. Morrell, or any other council person, when was the last official time that you all met with the mayor? Regardless if you like her or not, she is the head of the executive branch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard it was something like perhaps 2021. And for J.P. Morrell, I heard it was something like 2024. He was 15 minutes late for the meeting, and 15 minutes into the meeting, he had a temper tantrum last night on the debate. So you mean to tell me the legislative branch of government, and as you as the city council person at large, you want to call the state auditors? Here again, how did we get state troopers here? How did the governor or the state want to take over Sewage and Water Board? Because of informants on the city council in the at-large positions?
Well, one of the questions that needs to be answered when we start talking about all these different presentations of bringing different things here, when you start bringing different things to the city and saying, oh, this is what's going to happen. We're going to bring in Troop NOLA. Troop NOLA is going to come in, yada, 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 yada. The question I have with Troop NOLA is, are we, as far as the council is concerned, the city of New Orleans, paying for it, or is the state paying for it? It's a state entity, but are we responsible for the pay for Troop NOLA? Which I can honestly tell you, more than likely, it is the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, and then every time I go by the Hyatt at night, ain't nothing but state troopers. So they stand nice. If they stand at the Hyatt Hotel. Lastly, during the debate, when she addressed Sheriff Susan Hudson, she didn't say sheriff. She said Susan Hudson. When the moderator asked her about what would she keep from the mayor, and all she talked about a doctor that worked for the mayor. Where is your respect, in my opinion, for black women? So for some of you black women that support this Latino woman, what do y'all see? She talked about getting this type of office, a home economic development office for the East, lower home owners insurance office. If you're in a $60 million deficit, how can you afford these new departments?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hang up and listen.
All right, I appreciate you. All right, Sid, thanks, man. All right, you got to go to break? All right, let's go. We'll go to break here. We'll come back, take some more telephone calls in just a few minutes, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Dave and John founded FUBU back in 1992 and used that as a springboard into a highly successful career as an entrepreneur. But today's retail climate is a lot different. Speaking to Bloomberg at the Uncharted Annual Summit, John talked about one big innovation in retail, live selling.
There's an app called Whatnot, right? And people have 20-second auctions for one little device, or let's say a makeup sells for about $12. Mm-hmm. Now, they can do this 3 separate times in 1 minute, right? So they make a profit about $4 every time they sell it. So now all of a sudden, $12 a minute. You times that, because now they have friends coming on everything. You times that by 16 hours a day.
John is confident that people could continue to make new companies like FUBU today, but he thinks innovations like live selling might replace more traditional retail models for future entrepreneurs. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Tired of the impersonal one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Don't forget at 6 today, we've got a good conversation going on. Carrie and Arnie will be in the air chair to take you into the evening time. That's at 6 this evening. You're about, 24, 25 minutes away? So make sure you check it out. Mr. Buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Gerard?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Been listening to all the talk about the budget deficit and all this. A budget is a plan.
Yep.
And revenues coming in is what you can actually write a check on to pay bills.
Yep.
And spend.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the city budget for 2025. These are where I get my figures, and I'll just read you in millions of dollars. General revenues were $878 million. In FY24, they were $814 million, so that was an increase. Sales and other taxes were $342 million this year. Licenses and permits decreased minus 9%. From 74 million to 72 million.
Mm-hmm.
Miscellaneous revenue went down from 29 million to 27 million. Intergovernmental transfers were 30 million. Fines and forfeitures went down from 23 million to 20 million. Other sources, and this is federal money, is usually around 42 million. Last year, it went up to 102 million. Now, when you're getting money from one-time money, which is from other sources usually, you shouldn't spend that on payroll. You should spend that on one-time items.
Yeah, that's not guaranteed to recycle.
Because it's not guaranteed to recur.
Right.
So when you're giving people pay raises and stuff, you shouldn't count on this one-time money. All right. I went to the accounting website for the city government. The last view comprehensive financial report by the accounting department for the city government was 2023. The last quarterly review was October of 2023. That's it. There's no other reports. So the city and the administration, which is under the mayor and the city council, somehow accounting for the city's revenues and knowing how much money was coming in to pay bills and to make decisions on, it all went off the rails in 24 and 25.
So, okay,
and
stop right
that's
there.
That's what I'll say about it.
All right, so stop right there. Okay, so if it went off of the rails, who then is supposed to be the ones that are responsible? They have the fiduciary responsibility to inform us we need to slow our roll here because we're spending too much money.
The city, the administration,
and then
I also went to the city website now. This is where I'm getting this information that I'm talking about. The city is 6 members that estimates the revenue estimating conference.
Right. Stop right there.
City,
I really ain't finished. I really ain't finished with this question for you. Because if the city is responsible for it, you're absolutely right in the point that we made when we was talking to Jabari. Jabari said they informed in January the entire city and wrote an article, got the paperwork to show it, that they were like, we're getting ready to get into a budget crisis, and even had a meeting with them in February. Nobody listened.
But what I'm saying to you is, saying we're going to get in a budget crisis.
No, they were telling them they were already in
doesn't
one.
Doesn't give you numbers, Gerard. The city administration is responsible for giving money, giving not accurate figures to the city council. Okay, just saying we're heading into a budget crisis. How much? How far? When? Where's the problem? It's got to be more specific.
So you're trying to tell me that if I'm telling you that the Earth is moving closer to the sun, that you're not going to look into it? You're going to sit there and it's like, damn, it's hot today. Or it feel like my skin is coming off of my bones. You're going to sit there and wait because you're saying, I need more specific information? Or you're going to try to find out yourself just because you see something is happening? They made them look and say, hey, we got a problem, and then called a meeting amongst all of them in February, and they sat there and played on the phone. I can't make a horse drink from the well.
I'm just saying it was dysfunctional.
Yeah, it's
all right,
dysfunctional.
without casting blame. I'm saying it's dysfunctional, and it starts with the mayor and the administration because they're the ones responsible for providing the figures. I'm talking about the accounting department, the revenue department, and then to the city administrator, and they all work for the mayor.
So I think there's enough blame to go around for everybody. I think there's enough to go around for everybody. But if I'm going off the rails,
I'm just pointing out where the hole is.
If I'm going off the rails
bad
and you're
decisions being made by the city council,
if you're
that's
adding to
possible.
this deficit, you're just as much as at fault as the rest of the administration. If
But
you're
you do
adding
understand
$62
how bad it's
million,
been run, right?
If you're adding $62 million to a budget that's going to hell in a basket in the first place, and they've informed you that it is doing that, and you keep adding to that deficit, you're just as much, if not more, at fault than the administration.
I'm saying the whole system they have is wrecked. The whole system.
And how many times have you, I, and everybody else been charged with a whole bunch of money, and we wondering where our money going?
I haven't. I've had to pay my bills at the end of the month.
That's because you got all that money over there. I'm just saying.
Right. Like you don't.
I don't.
Okay.
No, sir.
How's that truck fund coming, Gerard?
Oh, it's Tonka
You're working 3 jobs.
It's Tonka toy right now, so that's all I'm looking at. All right, Miss Buddy, let me take these other calls. Everybody holding on. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, indeed. I do. I think everybody's responsible for it. Yeah. And if you're going to sit there and okay it, but you've added all this money to it and you know that you have a problem, you just might be more at fault than anybody else. I can't hold your hand. Mr. Harrow. Mr. Harrow?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I just want to say I'm listening to you, and I needed to holler at you. So today is a special day. It's Alicia's birthday.
No, well,
and
whatever.
I'm in Hollywood at the El Capitan, where whatever his name is, Jimmy Kimmel is supposed to come back. He's coming back tonight. So there's a line of people out here, and I wanted to shoot her some pictures, which I did. So I didn't want to miss the day to, if I could holler and say that today is her birthday. So anyway, life is good, and there are people all over the place here, and I'm just, they're waiting on the doors to open up. So that's where I am, and I'm listening and thinking, and so I just want to let you know that I am listening to what's going on.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you.
Say that again?
I said I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So what you're doing, And, oh, blow the horn. Blow the horn. But it's a tour bus backing up, and
I can hear
it seems like he was. Yeah, did you hear?
I can hear the beep going over saying he backing up.
Yeah. I didn't know if he was going to back into us or not.
Yeah, get out the way.
But say that again.
No, I said get out the way.
Yeah. The creep that's in the White House. Did you see him before the United Nations?
No, I didn't watch that. That's all the show.
Okay.
Trying to get a two-state. Try to get the Palestinians a state. Notified through the just giving them a recognition to being a two-state Palestinian state along with Israel, and Israel don't want to do it. We won't gonna be with them. We're gonna be with Israel.
The biggest fool that I have witnessed in my lifetime. Did you see Kamala Harris on the View today?
No, I didn't see that either. I had to work sometimes, Mr. Harold.
You said that again?
I said I got to work sometimes. I can't be sitting there watching TV all day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What can I tell you? But if you can, pull her back up. And I haven't forgot 326. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I think you do.
What happened?
326. Do those numbers ring a bell with you?
My birthday.
Yeah, okay. I said I haven't forgot.
Yeah, I got a ways to go, so we gonna see.
Yeah,
we gonna see.
I'm just a little slow.
That's all right.
So, but
you're
I'm
already
slow.
in advance. So, but look, I got to take these other calls. Everybody talking about this subject, so let me get this subject done. But you be careful out there.
I appreciate you.
All right,
I appreciate you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So as I go back through and I look at this, I'm sorry for those that were calling and hung up. You can call back. Crisis. That's the word that I was looking up. Crisis. When have we heard the word crisis? Let me give you the definition of crisis. A crisis, a crucial, unstable period with a decisive negative outcome possible, affecting individuals, societies, or the environment. We have a crisis here. This is what this has been called. This hasn't been called, oh Lord, we got a little boo-boo. We made a little boo-boo. What? Who said this was a little boo-boo? This has been notified. This was notifying all the potential folks that could do something about this, that this was a crisis. And as I look at the definition, negative outcome possible, affecting individuals, societies, or the environment, right? So where are we going to get this $62 million to put a plug into this leaking dike? Because we still owe $62 million. We're not out the water. So what was imperative to me, now I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm talking about. I got to take you back for a minute. How in the world did y'all get mad at the mayor, at Titi? How did y'all get mad at her when she said loud and clear, hold up, I got to renege on that giving the school board this $30 million? Why you got to do that, G? Because she said, real loud and proud, we don't have the money. Instead of your city council folks, Rich and Red Bottoms, digging in to see what she was talking about, you went straight up ham. You went pork belly ham to talk about her like a dog. Oh, then if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, you sounded like you was damn auctioning something off. Yeah, if you don't do this, you do this. Yeah, certified, 35. Oh, we need 35 million. Yes. Oh, that's what you sounded like. Playing with your little Tonka toys, your little Captain America shield, and trying to throw around that hammer. You know you can't pick it up. It's too heavy for you. And then you started making videos and putting them on Facebook. Hey, people. JP here. How's everybody? So why didn't you ask, hey, Madam Mayor, I saw your statement. You said 30 million, we don't have it. But we basically said to them we were going to give them the money. But y'all ain't tell her that y'all were going to add $62 million to a budget. She ain't got the money no more. We got a deficit. And your answer to that, okay, you don't want to pay the 30 million, you don't want to pay them. You sound like a daggone auction again. You don't want them, you don't want to pay. Well, guess what we're going to do? What we going to do? We're going to be little biatches, and we're going to restrict your travel. When did her travel become $30 million? We're going to be little biatches. Can you say that in your auction voice? Give me little biatches, little biatches, little biatches. Can we do a hold down? Ah! Here, little biatches, biatches, biatches. I can't do it. Everybody will be like that. North Carolina coming out here real good. Here, Billy. You're going to be a little biatches. How do we not know these things when we hear strife? That's all we hear, strife. Oh, the city council fight with the mayor again. Mayor fight with the city council again. Biatches, biatches. Y'all just being little biatches. And then we sitting around listening to election campaigns, taking the damn credit for some crap that's messed up. Little biatches, little biatches. I'm gonna make me a song called Little Biatches. Y'all gonna see it. It's gonna blow up to number one. They're gonna be like, there go Gerod. You know he made that song. Everybody like it. What song is that? Little Biatches. How in the world are we here? Nobody could see a multi-million-dollar screw up? Who we got guarding the chicken coop? We already can't afford eggs. Now we ain't gonna have the chickens. Am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Oh, gee, I don't know. If you're not right, gee, I don't think that we would be in this here cluster, you know what? So the question that I have to all of budget committee, I see why. Joe Giarrusso said, I'm out. See y'all later. I'm not running again. I see why he said it. Because y'all don't talk to one another. If you all added $62 million to the budget and we still in this cluster, you know what? We still in it now. Now they're stopping hiring. I don't know if you knew that or not. Now, I can tell you what's coming next for all the city employees. What's coming next? Y'all going to have to take some days off. And then had the audacity to say, because the minute that I heard this, y'all know what I started saying. What did you start saying? I started saying the same thing that they did to Susan Hudson. Audit. And I want the auditor, the state auditor, to tell me how many bank accounts that the city has. Audit. You know how they used to do that? Hated it. Audit it. Audit it.
Audit it.
Audit it. Hated it. And then, of course, what happened? I came up with this idea that we are now getting the legislative auditor to...
Audit it.
Hated it.
With 2 snaps and a twist.
There ain't no twist. Now, you've been there all these years. What's that, 8, 9 years?
Yeah.
You just listening, thinking that you came up with the idea to be audited? Y'all go through this budget crisis every year. Not like this, though. Not with $62 million in the hole. Somebody said, well, you got to look at the state, G. You got to look at the state. Got to look at the state because the state been in here a whole lot. And if I wanted to take over New Orleans and I was the state, what's the best way I could do it? Can't do it so that I can get you out because you are elected. You're an elected official. But I can see that you got it busted. You got it busted and you can't be trusted. So what do? Take it over.
Busted, disgusted, can't be trusted.
Yep. Y'all think it's hard to live here now because of prices?
Oh, just you wait.
The little biatches, they're going to make it even worse.
You think those property taxes are high now? Huh.
Yep. Leslie said we need to have have you to put together a beat so we can do the biatches song. We're gonna do the biatches song, y'all. More coming up, folks. Everybody will take.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Who really runs America's independent agencies, Congress or the president? Now, the Supreme Court just ruled 6-3 to let Donald Trump fire Rebecca Slaughter, a Democratic commissioner on the Federal Trade Commission, while her case plays out. Now, the move signals the court could soon overturn a 90-year-old decision that shielded regulators from political interference. Back in 1935, the justices unanimously said presidents can only remove commissioners for misconduct or neglect of duty. That ruling created the backbone of agencies we rely on today, from consumer protection to labor rights. But now the conservative majority is opening the door for Trump to remove board members at will. Critics warn it would replace experts with politics, even putting institutions like the Federal Reserve on the line. The court will hear arguments in December. For these stories and more, go to AURN.com or follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Let me be clear. I don't know Charlie Kirk. Hadn't heard of him until he was assassinated by a deranged white gunman on the campus of a small college in Utah. But I've since become familiar with his widely popular philosophy and far-right conservative opinions and views regarding black folks. However, I choose not to respond with vitriol of disrespect of the dead. But here's my take. When public figures make sweeping and disparaging remarks about African Americans, it is tempting to meet those words with equal force. But there is another way. one rooted not in vitriol, but in clarity, dignity, and truth. Mr. Kirk's comments, which suggest that black professionals are inherently suspect, that black women succeed only through favoritism, and that black communities are defined by crime, are not new. Versions of these stereotypes have circulated for centuries. What is new is the ease with which such words are broadcast to millions of people, echoing in ways that can only harden divisions. How then should African Americans respond? First, by refusing to internalize these mischaracterizations. The accomplishments of black Americans in the cockpit, the courtroom, the classroom, and on every field of human endeavor stand as daily rebuttals. The measure of one's worth is not found in the skepticism of critics like Kirk, but in the substance of one's work. Second, by lifting up stories of excellence and service that counterbalance caricature. For every negative stereotype offered, there are countless real lives that tell a different story, of black Marines whom I've interviewed, who served with honor, of black women leading companies, legislating in Congress, healing in hospitals like my goddaughter, and teaching in classrooms. Their presence is not a product of lowered standards, no, but of talent, perseverance, and sacrifice. Finally, by engaging not in anger, but in insistence, an insistence on being seen in full humanity, responding with measured words and lived examples, robbed inflammatory commentary of its power. It signals that progress does not depend on the approval of those skeptics who doubt it. And so the challenge now falls to black leaders in politics, business, media, and yes, the pulpit, to keep telling our stories, to answer stereotypes not with silence, but with narratives of achievement, resilience, and pride. Because in the end, the most powerful voice against ignorance is the unvarnished truth of exactly who we are. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
2517 Bayou Road, Chef Sherman Esteem. You talking about great food, great conversations, and definitely great drinks. We sell hookahs and we rent them out. So if you want to have a nice time and smoke your nice hookah, come on down to Nano's Cajun Cuisine and Pastries and have a wonderful time. We will entertain you and we will treat you with happiness and joy. And by the way, on our first and third Saturdays, we always have a block party on Bayou Road. Come and check us out from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Looking to join an organization that is committed to help promote economic development in New Orleans East? Look no further. The Greater New Orleans Business Alliance is a member-based, nonprofit organization made up of business owners and local professionals united for the purpose to promote business development in Eastern New Orleans. If you want to become a member, call us at 504-957-3568.
What's the future for New Orleans? Will city services ever function efficiently? Our people need answers, not slogans. That's why the Nonpartisan City Services Coalition has asked the candidates for mayor how they plan to fix city government. Want to know what they said? Go to cityservicescoalition.com to see for yourself. It's time for action, not excuses. The next step is yours.
Paid for by the City Services Coalition.
Hear that? For too long, Fixing our streets and drainage has only meant inconvenience and empty promises. This is Matthew Willard. I'm running for Council at Large, Division 1, to really fix our city so we spend less time dodging potholes and street flooding and more time cheering on the Saints. As a state legislator, I've proven I can deliver. At City Hall, I'll build on that record. Paid for by the Matthew Willard campaign.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back as we get ready to get out of here. Boy, look how God works. we just happen to have him right here because he's coming up with Carrie and also Arnie, who's going to be here. Mr. Lejay's here today?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
yes.
For the show at 6 o'clock. But I need to tell everybody that you are like the man when
Well, I
it came to the
appreciate that.
city of New Orleans budget.
Yes.
I remember back in the day, I ain't going to tell them how old we are no more.
Yeah.
And notice I said we.
Yes.
You would predict this is what the budget's going to do. This is what the revenue is going to be, yada, 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 yada.
Yes.
And you were
You
got it
I
right.
can tell you, if the revenue or the expenses were over or under by 1 or 2%, we thought we were really doing a bad job.
Really?
So this is more of like a 3 or 4% difference in revenues and expenditures. So it's a real problem.
So you being who you are, you've been in that seat to say this is what's going on with the budget, yada yada yada. What
Yes.
do you see?
What I see is there's a lot of things, and I have to tell the public this. I don't have access to the same data I had before, but from the data I've seen from the budget committee and other things that have been produced, I see serious problems with the personnel numbers. There's basic personnel numbers that are off. They said they were right sizing the budget. I don't even know what that means, to be totally honest with you. So they have deficits in the basic numbers of the budget. Then they have these huge overtime expenses in the budget, which when you break them down, like they kept talking about the event that happened on the first, January 1st,
January 1st.
that was only like a $1.2 million overage in overtime. That's not that big a deal. In the terms of the entire budget, you could absorb that over the year. But in police, was a couple of months ago, there was almost a $26 million deficit in overtime. Police department has about 980 officers or so. It's a lot less than we had when I was there, and that number's bigger than when I was there. So I don't really know what they're spending overtime on. I'm very concerned about reimbursements and that type of thing. The thing that's very true about...
And when you talk about reimbursements, you're talking about the federal
To the
part.
federal reimbursements
Right.
or state reimbursements for grants. Everything comes out of the general fund first and then has to be corrected. We used to correct them monthly, which is what you're saying.
Right.
We would stay on top of these things, and if we saw a real problem, we would shut things down literally at that moment.
And
And I would report
extra
to them.
hires or none
We
of that.
reported to them every month. By the first quarter, if something was that off, I would be like, "We got to shut things
But
down."
how do we get to 62 million? Now you
Yeah.
did tell me, hey, look,
Yeah.
this is what it is. But if you were there, you shut it down.
Yeah, the problem
This
is you
going,
have
continuously going on to the point that this is where we are,
Yeah.
62, 65, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, I think the number, the number from what I saw added from revenue and expenditures is around 65 million. It could be more depending on what else is out there, but I think that's where you start from. And I think the other side of it is there's some bad revenue projections in the budget for property tax collection, for sales tax collection, and the like. And they talked about some of this deficit is about 2024. Which, like they said, they estimated they would make so much, like, say, from an event like the Taylor Swift concert, and they ended up not generating as much as they thought. Well, an event like that is lanyap. And, you don't.
So you
don't really project that. You
that
say
gonna
that's
be a part of
great.
your
It's going to
budget,
be
right?
great. You put in a little something, but
Right.
because you don't know what it's going to do. But
Right.
a 3-day event that had that many people in town, find it hard to believe that it was not great.
And wasn't it a sellout?
It was sold out every night in every hotel
Right.
and everything. And
Right.
people were from out of town,
Right.
which, as
Can't
you know,
make-
that
right.
means more money.
That's more money because
So,
they're going to spend it in the city.
What I'm saying to you is I think that there's a lot of analysis that needs to be done, but I do think they have a deficit, and I think that deficit is going to cause problems for whatever new administration and council come on board. Doesn't matter who wins or who loses. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Carey. I appreciate you. What you got coming up on the show?
We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to talk about our great president in the UN and his performance today, which was outlandish. And we're going to talk about voting.
Okay, very good, very good. Interesting show. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input, too. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap things up for me. Appreciate you for being a part of the conversation. We'll be back on tomorrow. Coming up, let's see, it's Mr. Leger today, right?
Mr. Walt Leger is our guest.
Walt Leger is going to be in the building with Mr. Carey next, right here on WBOK.